Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome again to Coach Bill's Sports Show. I'm Bill. Welcome back if it's your second video with me. If not, welcome to finding the channel. Today, we're going to go through and break down Arkansas. A little season preview for them. First things first, let's huddle up. Alright, let's get into it. So, Arkansas, balanced team concept from last year with 2,900 some change passing yards, 2,700 rushing yards. They did lose 1,100 receiving yards when Burks left. Drafted by the Titans, so no slouch there, but that's the biggest ownership of receiving yards on the team. Looking at their schedule, starting the season off with some tough games in their first five. Cincinnati, no slouch, even college football playoff team from last season. Even though they lost their quarterback, starting corner, and a couple other players, still not a slouch of a team. Going to be a tough matchup to start. Arkansas, thankfully, is returning their quarterback. So I give a slight edge to Arkansas with that one. South Carolina's coming back. New quarterback, new system. Do they have it in them? I just don't think so. I think Arkansas takes that one. Then Missouri State. No offense to Missouri State fans out there, but Arkansas is an SEC team. Missouri State is not. So they start the season 3-0, and then comes Texas A&M, and this Texas A&M Alabama back-to-back is just tough. It's not something anybody wants to see, especially an SEC West team. See these two back-to-back, tough sledding. I think they lose both, to Texas A&M and to Alabama. Luckily, the week after Alabama, licking their wounds a little bit, maybe even a little pissed off, they get Mississippi State. Mississippi State has always given them troubles, but Arkansas just has that team this year that's looking to take a step forward. And if Arkansas is going to do it, it starts by beating Mississippi State. Week 7, BYU. BYU is one of those tricky teams this season. They definitely have a shot to win this game. But I just don't see it. Once again, Arkansas is just a balanced attack, and they're very happy taking advantage of your weakness. So I think Arkansas wins that one. Then they go into their bye. Good time for a bye right after a couple wins, after a couple losses. Regroup the team, get into your get into your end of your season, start looking towards your bowl game maybe. Week 9, Auburn. I think we'll know a lot about Auburn by this time of the year. I just don't think they have it. I don't think they have it in them this year. Arkansas wins that one. Then Liberty. Malik Willis leaving Liberty is a big hit. If he was still there, might have gave him some grounds for a hope, chance, a prayer. But as it sits, Arkansas just doesn't seem like the team to lose to Liberty this season. Last 3 they end up with is LSU, Ole Miss, and Missouri. LSU hopefully has their quarterbacks situated by this time of the season. I mean, it's week 11. You would really hope to have everything squared away at that point in the season, but could still be a battle. You just don't know. LSU's got some talent. And they enjoy sneaking up on people. But I think after a Liberty game where they got some stuff going again and really got some time for their backups to play against Liberty, I think you get a little bit more of a rested team than LSU wants to see at this point in the season. They're also, LSU's coming off of an Alabama game before they play Arkansas, which is never a fun game to turn around after, especially with an LSU team that prides themselves to play Alabama. So I think Arkansas beats LSU. Week 12, you got Ole Miss. Ole Miss is a weird team this season, but that withstanding, just too much talent in Arkansas. Again, I know I've said it a couple times, just too much talent. Too much. End of the season with Missouri, and no offense to Missouri, I know I saw their coach out there taking some pop shots at Tennessee. His old coach, Jeremy Pruitt, saying he's going to get a bump in his ratings because they may vacate some losses that Missouri had to Tennessee, but let's be real. Missouri is not an SEC school. No offense to Missouri whatsoever, but they don't have SEC talent. And by SEC talent, I mean like you take the Floridas, the Kentuckys, the Tennessees, South Carolinas out of the SEC, they've got enough talent to start challenging in other leagues. SEC's just that tough. I think I have Florida this year at 7-5. You put them in the Big 12, and they're in the championship game. Like that's the difference in the leagues. But all that aside, if you've been keeping track, Arkansas got them in a 10-2 team this season. No slouch, not a bad season at all. I think that puts them third in the West. 10-2 and ended up third in the West it's a tough division. But nonetheless, wonderful team. They're going to see a very late in the year bowl game. I don't know if they get to a New Year's Six game. It just really depends on how everything else breaks out throughout all the conferences. But they definitely have a good season ahead of them. 10-2. You might even start hearing about some hype around a couple of their players, especially their quarterback, for draft stock coming up at the end of the season. But that's not something I can really predict that far ahead for. Nonetheless, Arkansas 10-2, not a bad season. We'll see what they do in the bowl game. So, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. If you disagree with me, let me know where I missed, what I got wrong. If there's a team that I'm overlooking, if there's a team I'm not as high on, let's discuss it in the channel. Let's discuss it in the chat. Once again, thank you for watching. Ready for